personal journey. I want to tell you a little bit about where I come from and what I do. The first thing I wanted to do is show you a picture of my mother, because I believe that Israeli men and Indian men have this in common. We're big mama's boys. And I'm definitely one. My mother is a bit of a hippie. She taught me how to love, and I think that's the most important influence in my life. The rest of my family are really boring Indian academics, busy collecting Ivy League decals for our classic ambassador car. But my father's a little different. That's not exactly how he looks, but my father's a little different. He always believed that he's more of the spiritual kind. You know, he said, Industrial Revolution has hijacked our education system. He was very philosophical. Yeah, thank you. You know, and one day he was sitting down with his favorite whiskey, and I was in the 10th grade, and I walked up to him and said, "Hi, Pa, what is the meaning of education?" He loved those questions. You know, he was like, you know, education is about discipline, it's about learning how to learn. He made a big list of these beautiful things. So I quickly took notes, and then later, about a month later, I went to him and said, "Pa, I've decided I'm going to be hardworking, I'm going to be emotionally independent of you, financially independent of you, I'm going to, you know, do all these things that you asked me to do, be a good citizen." He was getting emotional, he was going to hug me. I said, wait, hold that thought. Can I quit school then? I quit school to pursue a career in an informal education and to become a cartoonist. And I would do hundreds and thousands of cartoons every week, and this became my passion. But one of the things I learned from my cartoonist gurus that I would meet was that the best way to learn cartooning is to teach and work with children. So what I did was I decided to start my own cartoon school, because kids are the most creative creatures on this planet, and they're brutally honest. They don't like something, they will make sure you know it. So I decided to work with kids and start my own academy. But an 18-year-old trying to start a cartoon academy is a bit of a joke. So I decided I need someone really famous to give me credentials. It turns out that in my city, I read in the papers that the Prime Minister of India then was landing near my hometown. He was coming for a meeting. I said, "Oh, he's a good guy to launch my academy. I should probably go and say hi to him." So I went to the place where his helicopter was landing. I thought I could just go up to him and say, "Hey, what's up?" But it turns out there were a lot of layers of security. I caricatured my way through 3 layers of security, then I got stuck. And I was like, all the guards, I impressed them, I said, I'm an artist. I got stuck. Then a car pulls up with this professor in whose house I'd done cartoons. And this professor's like, "Raghava, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing here?" I said, "I'm here to see the Prime Minister." And he said, "So am I." I hopped into his car, and off we went through the many layers. Thank you. I met the Prime Minister, sat him down, and did this caricature, got him to inaugurate my academy, and started my cartoon career. I had a very successful cartoon career, but something tragic happened. I made this cartoon in 9/11, in the morning of September 11th, 2001. And I got kicked out of the American Cartoonists Association. For me, it was just a naive Indian observation. This was called Bite Off the Big Apple. I changed the name to The Forbidden Fruit, but it didn't work. I was in a lot of trouble. I realized that I came home to a lot of hate mails. That's when I realized, you know, cartoons come with power. They come with responsibility. I quit cartooning forever, I thought forever. And I started traveling around Europe, backpacking, hitchhiking, and trying to just reinvent myself, because I was very hurt with what happened. The most important thing, 2 things happened. One is I started painting. I met my cartoonist, a painter on the street, a mad painter, and I started painting. The other thing is I met this beautiful girl and fell madly in love, and I just wanted to live my life with her. And so what I did is I want to show you how I started painting. I never learned how to paint, so I used to use my hands and feet. This is my city, Bangalore. That's me thinking I'm a rock star. each painting had to dance, it had to be bigger than the next painting. I used to love dancers. I always wanted my paintings to come to life. I was a really bad dancer, but one thing I did is I followed dancers around the world, flamenco dancers, and I tried to imitate them and try and bring their energy into the painting, but my paintings never really danced. So I had this idea. I thought I'd paint on the bodies of dancers, make them disappear into a large painting, and have 14 of them change the composition of the painting dynamically through dance. And so we performed this in California in 2003, and it was a sellout performance. And at this point, my career was doing really well. My wife started managing my career. I was a bit of a celebrity in India. I had all the Bollywood stars buy my work. It was really fun. I was on the magazine covers, and I love all that attention. And the most important thing is Netra, my girlfriend, and I, she became my manager, both in the house and at work. But notice something. See how we are equal over here when we met? Something happened along the way. Never mind. But the best thing we could do is we said, let's get married, because I wanted the whole world to know I met this beautiful girl, and she's amazing, and she's the most important person. So we made a humble guest list of 7,000 people from around the world, and we brought them down to India to celebrate in style an art installation wedding. And we had all the Bollywood stars choreograph things. We had fireworks. We arrived in an auto rickshaw. I think I have some pictures here. It was a little mad. Everyone thought that we were overdoing it, but my deal was anyone more than my wife in the room makes it a party. So may as well have the biggest darn party possible. But in the midst of all this excitement, we were on top of the world. Again, something tragic happened. My mother almost died, and my work changed completely. She was very sick, and I could not paint with that fun and that enthusiasm anymore. And I love my mother. My paintings turned very dark. All the people who used to buy my work were like, oh, nice, take it home. Nobody wanted to buy my work. The collectors disappeared, the gallerists walked away, and all the money I was used to, I made $1 million when I was 23. All of a sudden, I was zero. And this is a very exciting time because I had to reinvent myself. So what I did, my wife and I decided, we had a baby, and the baby always brings a new life into your life. And we moved to Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, I thought I was very special in Brooklyn because I had a dog, I had a double stroller, I'm an artist, I'm a stay-at-home dad. Everyone in Brooklyn have a dog, double stroller, stay-at-home dads. I better do something about that. But most importantly, when a baby was born, my works changed again. I started creating works that was fun. I said, you know, I'm not a serious artist. I can be serious in everything I do. I want to share with you a children's book I did and released in America when I moved to America. And it's a little naughty, as with most of my work. And I'll let you see it. You know, I have a problem with children's books. I think they're full of propaganda. At least an Indian trying to get one of these American books in Park Slope, forget it. It's not the way I was brought up. So I said, I'm going to counter this with my own propaganda. If you notice carefully, it's a homosexual couple bringing up a child. Don't like it? Shake it. And you have a lesbian couple. Shake it, and you have a heterosexual couple. You know, I don't even believe in the concept of an ideal family. I have another idea. It's a children's book about Indian independence, very patriotic. But when you shake it, you get Pakistan's perspective. Shake it again, and you get the British perspective. You know, so, you know, these books are very naughty, and what's happened is since then my life has changed. I've given 3 TED Talks, and it created a bit of a revolution, this book. I've been involved with technologists more, and what I found is that my life and my art really inform each other, and I can't really separate one from the other. You know, for me, I never went to school. I've never been to, I've never had a job. I haven't gone to school since I quit. And the city has been my classroom. It's from the people that I met, the mistakes that I've made, the ecosystems that have supported my mad ideas, that I've found my happiness and my growth. So I want to share with you 6 ideas, 6 thoughts, which about education and creativity that are my point of view. So I'm not sure how it applies to everybody, but they're honest. The first, before I start, I want to say, who am I to teach you about teaching? Well, the best way to learn is to teach. So I always jump into everything by teaching. The first thing, a note to educators: you don't matter. Only when you realize and accept the fact that you don't matter, you become effective in the teaching process. You become a participant in the learning process, where your failures and your successes are as important. You become like a vessel of experience for kids to tap into. I think teachers take themselves too seriously. The second thing is true passion will emerge. Don't mess with it. When a parent comes to me and says, my son is so good at drawing, what can I do to help him? So just let him be. Our job is to expose kids to passion, not hone it, not have an agenda for it, not even help them. I would rather you have nothing to do with it than help your kid out. I really think true passion will emerge. I know this is contrary to what many think. Hire sexy teachers, for God's sake. The problem is most of our teachers can kill the most amazing subjects. And the truth is, the subjects I love the most are the teachers who brought them to life. And I think the problem with administration is you often look for resumes. You look for competence in the subject, but not the passion. I'd rather have a teacher who knows half as much, but is double as passionate. So I think that's really important. The fourth point is that the best education does not secure your future. You don't go to school to get a job. Today, you go to school to go to school to go to school to school to go to school, and then you don't know what the hell to do with your life. I really think that the best education teaches you how to accept vulnerability and almost ask for it. I consciously put myself in situations where I'm vulnerable. And the fifth point I want to say, quality is overrated. I think quantity over quality sometimes is important. Because there's a beautiful story of a pottery teacher. He divided his school class into 2 groups. This group, he said, your job is to make the perfect pot all semester. And your job is to make as many pots as you can. You will be graded on the weight of clay you use. And what's funny is that the exhibition, everything was mixed up. And the 3 best pots came from this group, the group that just made many clay pots. And it's not surprising for an artist, because the truth is, a masterpiece is not made, it emerges. Okay? And I think when someone comes to me and says, how can I become a good artist? I'm like, make 300 cartoons by tomorrow, you're on your way. And I really believe that. The 6th and most important point is everyone's creative. And it's a misconception that there are certain people who are genetically creative and those that are not. Skill may be genetic, but not creativity. I really believe that we are all born creative. And as my friend Ken Robinson says, we have our creativity beaten out of us. I want to tell you that cities are very important because they have to be places where people can connect and participate in the creative process. I was lucky enough to come across this school where I've taught. It's an alternate school out of MIT. It's a full-time school, but they have the biggest evil against the education, in the education system is the timetable. This kills the timetable. This is a school where you go and you learn by hacking. They do 3 very important things. They pair artists with hackers. And I'm talking about kids as well. So these are for high school children. The second thing they do, and this is genius, is they always pair an expert with someone who knows very little about the subject. Because an expert cannot zoom out. And someone who knows very, very little has a beautiful perspective on problem solving. I think this is key to solving any problem. And the third thing they do is they incubate ideas right out of high school. And I think that's genius. I've had the pleasure of working with them. I've had the pleasure of working with them, and I want to share with you, before I leave, my latest art project with high school children that I did at New View. This is a painting that used to annoy me the most when I was a kid. Because they said, Mona Lisa has the most beautiful smile. She barely is grinning. I mean, how could you even call that a smile? So I was like, I hate the Mona Lisa, she doesn't smile. And then I was told by a cognitive scientist that if you look at her eyes and look at her mouth through your peripheral vision, she appears to be smiling and teasing. But if you dare look at her mouth, she's as cold as stone. So I said, you know, that's really cool, but she's still not smiling enough. So I came across this picture on the internet. This woman is my Mona Lisa. She is a bit of a meme. She has been appropriated by several propaganda. And I thought that's a perfect image for me to appropriate. And I worked with this guy who's a genius hacker, Sean Stevens, and 12 high school kids to come up with this art project. Can we switch to the demo, please? I hate live demos, they're always scary. Please bear with me. This could work, could not work. You just have to clap. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to attach with one hand an EEG device to my head. This device is measuring 13 frequencies from my cerebral cortex. And what it's doing is, as you can see, it's sending alpha, beta, gamma, theta, delta waves to my computer. Mona Lisa is now reading my brain waves to come to life. Come on, you can do it. Is it working? Yeah! So what's happening, obviously you're making me sad. Guys, do something about that. So what's happening is, this is biofeedback. She's reading my brain waves. There's someone smiling behind my back. I'm freaking out, as you can see. What my dream is that in the future, you know, paintings will allow people to participate in them. I think this is distracting. Oh. Okay, I'm going to meditate and make her smile because she's only showing, so just give me a second. You know, you learn to develop this muscle, this brain muscle of yours. And in fact, the idea is to get more people to participate. You know how artists hate art critics? So I was thinking, imagine an exhibition where you invite the art critic to come and all the paintings analyze him. Wouldn't that be fun? Could we switch back to my slides? I was trying to explain to my mother. I said, Ma, imagine the paintings borrowing your brains to come to life. She said that reminds her of Night of the Living Dead. But that is so true. I really believe that in the future, people will connect, participate, and I'm really hoping cities will understand the value of education and creativity. I really believe for empathy, creativity is the most important tool. It allows you to imagine yourself in a person's shoes. I think dreams are what makes us who we are, what lives are made up of. And cities and educational institutes should just be dream catchers. Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow, thank you very much indeed, Raghava. That was fantastic. To see an artist using that kind of technology in real time is quite amazing. Wow, thank you so much for that.